sunny day. Close my eyes, watch it all fade away. If you know where the blood's coming from, please let me know. I was never afraid until it was my time to go. It's my cloudy, sunny day. Close my eyes, watch it all fade away. Don't you worry if it all feels the same. Just keep trying, you'll know when it changes. It's your cloudy, sunny day. Close your eyes, watch it all fade away.
Even Joe Rogan's?
Depends on the guest.
Boom.
Depends on the guest. If it's Duncan Trussell or Bill Burr,
That
yeah.
is fair, yeah. If Bill Burr is there to tell him he's full of shit,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
You guys should hang out with my brother.
Uh,
I feel like I say anything. He's like, yo, you listen to Tom Segura? You listen to Bill Burr? I'm like, no, I don't. Do
Wait,
I
does
look
he
like
keep,
I
does
do?
he keep asking you that?
Yeah.
But
the
He's
same
a
people or
dad.
different people?
He's a dad, so he listens
Oh, yeah,
to
actually,
you and then
Bill
just like,
Burr's podcast is for dads. That's perfect, too.
okay, I understand now. That makes sense.
But like you can listen to it if you're not a dad.
Yeah, but he's in full, like,
are you
I'm a
looking
father
for
mode, so-
validation?
I mean, like, are you
No.
trying to argue that you're not a father?
I don't listen to Bill Burr's podcast.
Oh, okay.
Bill Burr has a podcast?
Bill Burr has a podcast.
You brought that up.
No, I just know he's a comedian.
Bill
No,
Burr
yeah,
has
he-
a dad cast.
He has a
Dadcast.
very long-running podcast
Uh-huh.
before everybody who was a comedian decided they could make money
Before
doing it.
And he
everybody
had
else.
Obama in his garage.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I don't think Obama would hang out with Bill Burr.
I think you would.
No.
Why not?
Maybe not in public.
He's
Yeah,
way,
maybe there's that.
yeah, he's
yeah.
way too abrasive for
Yeah.
Obama.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Obama can't be abrasive, but I think he has a very like manicured.
Sounds like you're putting Obama in a box.
Yes,
Oh,
an Obama box.
Obama box?
Subscribe now.
Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
Yeah, I'm Obama in a box.
Buying the domain right now.
Yeah.
It's my Obama in a box.
It's a weird bit.
Yeah, you did it. You
gotta
You
start
started
it.
it.
Again, you did this.
This is your fault.
What, this whole thing, like the podcast?
No,
I
that's
don't
a-
feel
that-
like I
that's- no, that's a-
started this.
that's
I haven't been
different-
here that long.
That's a different person's fault.
I don't know who started this, but I know it wasn't me.
I know who started it.
I think I was just like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You wanted to talk to your friends.
Yeah. Who started it? Was it Andy?
It was Andy.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, because Andy had the whole bit that was like it's his podcast. He started it for a really long time.
Because he started it.
Yeah, for the old heads who used to listen way back in the day when we interviewed people, they'll remember that.
That is interesting that we've gotten to the point where like the person who started this, who are they? Like people
did
who
they do?
listen within the past. I think like 2020 to now, like that's like who,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
and not in like a malicious way.
Not even 2020 before that.
yeah.
really.
2019 probably. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just think of 2020 as like the
The
this-
resurgence.
I don't know resurgence, but like just
The
what this
retcon?
is
Is it
now.
the reset? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not just a bunch of R words, guys. Yeah, the recon,
The
Retcon.
reconciliation.
It's
the
a
retina.
The return.
2020 was the retcon of the podcast,
Yeah, the Regis Philbin.
the Regis Philbin of the podcast.
Yeah, I just think because that's whenever we were like, oh, well, we're doing nothing. Let's go to a weekly podcast. And it's just been that way since.
Yeah.
And we stopped interviewing people because that just really wasn't
Didn't work out too
viable.
well.
wasn't our passion.
Yeah, it wasn't our passion. I don't know. I feel like I was pretty good at it.
It's
Yeah.
your, so it's your
I
passion?
enjoyed it.
It's your passion.
I like talking to people about things that they're passionate about,
Oh, I
as
see.
long as it's not country music.
Damn it.
And then as soon as I start that, I'm like,
I have somewhere else to be.
yeah, I have to go return some VHS.
I wish I could
tapes.
be anywhere else right now.
Yeah, it's not too hard. That or just start talking to me about guitar, and I'm like, no, please don't.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've learned that I have one prejudice in my life, and it's against guitar players.
Really?
I fucking hate guitar players. There's been enough in my life that have just been like too obsessed with gear and not enough about anything else.
That's fair.
And it's like they know everything about the gear, but they know nothing about the songs they're supposed to play.
Nothing about the how to play it.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever find yourself like just like retrospectively, and that was the intentional R word there?
Okay.
Just realizing that like everything you talk about either has like some connective tissue or is directly about music. Do you guys realize that?
Yes.
What about you, Hagen?
Yeah.
I assume not you, Adam.
Not to the degree that y'all do. No.
Does it ever bum you out?
No.
It thoroughly bumps me out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's plenty of times where like the through line in so many parts of my life is music, and I just wish that it wasn't always that. Even today I was talking to somebody about like how excited I was for the Mario movie, and I
How did this get to music?
well the
Their immediate
theme,
response was, "Are you interested in the movie because of the music?"
No, the theme of the like of the movie like is great. The arrangement's super cool, and my through line was going straight to there instead of about anything else in the Mario movie. Could have talked about Jack Black in the Bowser suit.
Oh, when you say theme, you mean like musical?
Yeah, the
theme.
musical
I thought
theme,
you were
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about like the motifs, and I was like,
Yeah. Like
Okay,
the story,
what does this have to do with
the plot? of the movie, yeah.
I was
So
like, yeah,
we're not
so
there yet.
Yeah, it's got a this movie's really got a like a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus structure. That's what I was thinking.
Although I would rather talk to, because most of the people in my life are musicians,
Yeah.
I would rather talk to musicians about music than non-musicians about music.
Sure.
One.
I'm the opposite.
Number two, I would rather talk to musicians about music than not music. So I was involved. I say this because
Do you
the
have
other
an
day
example?
I was involved in a conversation with this group of people that were musicians. Then one of the guys was like talking about SeaWorld and stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, this is boring."
Like how fun SeaWorld is, or
No,
how like,
about,
hey,
like,
we shouldn't be going there.
We
that
should,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
that kind of thing. Vaguely, that kind of thing. And I was
How
just
often
like,
are you guys running into people who are like, hey, I'm going to SeaWorld this
exactly?
weekend?
And I was also like,
I didn't realize it was still around until like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I saw something about it. I thought
Yeah.
it was like a thing that closed during our childhood.
This is actually like a touchy subject for me because like I did used to go to SeaWorld as a child. So like occasionally if my like family's trying to do something, they will like throw that out there. We never do
Is that
it
their
anymore.
go-to suggestion? is
No, not a
SeaWorld?
go-to, but it's like close enough that you can get to it. Like, it's like going to
fair,
Schlitterbahn.
fair.
But
Schlitterbahn?
yeah,
I don't know what that is.
it's a huge, huge water park.
Oh, okay.
It's like the Texas Disney World of water
yeah,
parks.
yeah.
It's
Oh.
massive.
It's a lot of water.
But yeah, like so.
The state that's very dry.
Yeah. Yeah. So like every time they recommend it, I'm like, no, we can't do that. But like, I do have like fond memories of going as a child. But like, I also understand that like, oh man, those fond memories are now a bit tainted with like,
Yeah. dude.
which is not on me, but it's also like it's hard to have that kind of like confliction.
Every time I go to anytime I've been around enclosed animals, like at a zoo or like whatever, I'm just like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, it's super weird.
This is fucking
Yeah.
weird.
That's why you got to go to like certain like I think it's the Cincinnati Zoo. It's like that, and the San Diego Zoo. There are like specific zoos where they're like known for being great with their like conservation efforts and like breeding programs for like red pandas or something like that. Like these like or like just like a giant panda, which like are notoriously like they around the world, specifically in China, because that's where they're native, try to get these animals to fuck, and they just won't. Like they're just
Right.
like, we're so lazy. And it's like
There's
literally
not exactly any panda porn.
No, there's not.
See, I find
They just want to eat.
I find that I would rather talk to musicians about non-music stuff a lot of the time. There's a
Yeah.
lot of musicians that like start talking about music. I'm like, this sucks.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you don't like talking to them about music.
Or there's always some people who are just too into the thing they're into.
I want to hear Adam's
that's all they
perspective
can
on
talk
this.
about.
Yeah,
Do
he
you
clearly
have the-
likes talking about
do you-
music because he's on this show.
Yeah.
I see you as a very well-rounded person. You like
hear.
technology. You're
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to Adam.
It's not true. I think I'm nicest to you out of anyone
Yeah,
here. Like you're
Yes,
into
probably.
technology.
Yes.
You're into music, but not in just I like the new Tame Impala. Like you have very like specific opinions. You buy merch. Like you care about that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah,
you care
yeah.
about music. Or
Capitalism.
sorry, I meant to say movies.
Cares about capitalism.
See, I'm being nice. They're just
Yeah,
I think they're jealous that I'm nice to you.
No.
Yes.
maybe. Yeah, they've got their own thing going on. It's
Yeah, for real.
What
you guys
own thing
got
do we have going on?
like you guys are like lovers. That I think that's what Adam was alluding to.
I just meant you guys have your own podcast on Fridays.
Yeah, nice.
Good promotion.
Oh,
Yeah, we do. We do. You're welcome.
But yeah. So
We
like,
just hit 30 subs on YouTube. You're welcome.
yeah, I think that is you guys. It for sure is.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter if we're here.
So like, you clearly have a diverse interest.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I have the same types of conversations with everybody that I know because
Yeah.
I don't like just know technology people to that point of like
must be
that's all we
nice.
talk about. There are some people who are also into technology that I do talk about or talk to, and they talk about technology all the time, and it is exhausting.
yeah. So it's probably
People who
along
only
the
have
same
one
lines.
like focus or one hobby or one like thing they do, it's not. Not to say that's like bad, but it is exhausting to other people. I think.
That's why it's like depressing for me because somebody, like you were saying with the Mario movie, Hagen, somebody will say something to me and I'll say, yeah, well, that's kind of like this time in music history. And I'm like, fuck.
Well, and it like for some reason like there's a I like talking about music like a whole lot, but also there's a lot of me that would just rather not talk about music sometimes. Like I'd rather just like hang out and like not like have this be like the focal point. And it like not like it was a bad thing, but we hung out on Saturday night, and right when I sat down at the dinner table, your friend started asking me about like music stuff, and I was like, I'm happy to have. I liked this conversation. I like the people at this table, but I was like totally not like in the zone to be like, let's talk about music.
I think in that situation, that specific friend wants to be what we are doing right now.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, be careful what you wish for.
There's an aspect
Do you
too
want to
of
trade
people
bank
who.
accounts?
There's an aspect too of if it's a thing that you do for work, like you do music for work, you don't want to talk about music all the time.
Well,
like I do tech stuff for work. I don't want to always talk about technology stuff.
yeah, like
There's
I like
other things that I'd rather do or talk about.
yeah, I find that like teaching music, playing music, and like
Music
all
podcast.
of, all of the
Yeah.
in between, and then also the
I
fact
guess
that
we're not really helping, are we?
well, no, it's good because I
You're in 40 bands.
there's there's like a lot of stuff that I do want to talk about that no one gives a shit about, but like we can talk about that kind of stuff here, like
Pandas fucking.
pandas fucking.
Apparently.
That wasn't really the point of that story.
I mean, you,
Trying to make
you
me feel
were
good about going to a zoo.
you were quick to jump to that.
He's excited.
You can't divert the conversation to me when I am taking a sip.
We just
Yeah.
did.
I'm aware.
We did
Very
that,
much
and it
aware.
worked.
Yeah, I find that I would rather like it has worked out this way where most of my like really good friends are even though I just said I don't like guitar players, are guitar players. Like my wedding party was almost all front people and guitar players,
I'm
except for
okay. I'm not a guitar player. Don't say
you're
that.
you're a front person
Sure.
and you do play
You
guitar.
do play guitar.
Yeah.
In case nobody's told you.
But I think there's a
you're not
difference
the-
of what you're talking
yeah.
about.
But-
I'm not that person.
No,
I
you're
have
definitely
a
not.
custom guitar, and I think it's one of the worst decisions I've made because people come up to me and ask me about that guitar.
People come
I'm
up to
just like,
us and ask us about that shit.
Yep. And I think I said this on Saturday night of like, I'm just gonna start lying and saying this is like a catalog guitar that was like $100 and like they just
like
don't
you got
make
it
it
clearance.
anymore.
Just say
Yeah.
just say it's a parts guitar and you forgot what the parts are.
Well, and we don't know how to tell people about it because we don't talk about gear.
But
Yeah.
even then, if I say it's a parts guitar, they're gonna find that is sexy, and I'm like, just it
True.
plays.
True.
I like it. It looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I for some reason am mostly drawn to like front people, guitar players, except for the ones that are like the ones that I'm
You have a
laying
type.
on. Yeah, but then the exception is Dave and Alzina. They're the exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Adam.
Yeah.
He's a
you know.
saxophone player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how people know me.
True.
So we got a bit of news. The Ticketmaster saga continues. Mm-hmm. So The Cure announced a North American tour, which I guess is a big deal. I don't
Cure?
know. Yeah, what?
The
Oh,
Cure?
The Cure. I thought you were making fun of me, and then I realized you're making a joke. This is a good joke.
You said no as if like you would never make fun of him. No.
I don't make fun of Jackson.
I
I
feel
wish
like-
we could roll like a. I make fun of Adam.
A 20-minute clip of you making fun of Jackson.
I feel like every time like Jackson is like done all this stuff to put news together and then he'll read a headline and say something just a little bit wrong. I just hear it on my left.
Yeah, okay. That's not. Jackson reads the headlines. I do that to myself if I'm reading.
Totally. Yeah.
I do it to Adam. Maybe not Adam.
Definitely do it to me.
I do it to you.
So The Cure announced a tour.
The tier.
A North American tour, and of course it went through Ticketmaster. It's not like, actually I don't know if they're in Dallas. It's at like an amphitheater, I think, but I don't know if it's like an amphitheater tour. But I guess Ticketmaster just has that kind of monopoly going that they have those venues too. I just had this idea that they were just the stadium people, but I guess they are the same level people because like John Mayer will play both, so like that
Well,
makes
and
sense.
Even if they don't have they don't own the venue, they still have like agreements with all these places anyway.
Yeah. So they announced the tour. Everybody saw this coming, but then, tickets go on sale. There's a ton of like fees, all that kind of stuff. And basically, Robert Smith takes to like Twitter and is like freaking out, like saying like, I had no clue about these fees. We had a discussion with Ticketmaster beforehand, telling them like, hey, we opted out of dynamic pricing. We used the fan verified account or fan verified thing because program because they specifically wanted to make sure people like fans were getting it. Basically avoid scalpers as much as possible. I think they have it set up to where you can't change.
Yeah, you can't transfer the tickets.
Yeah, you can't transfer tickets. So if it's under your name, it's like it's yours. Like you
I
can't
like
give it to
that.
someone. Yeah, and like for the most part, I think it works out. It would suck like I bought these tickets, 6 months in advance, and like, I have to go do this,
Yeah.
and now I can't, and
Yeah,
then
but
I'm out that money.
I guess at the same time, I would think that long term, that would just make people not buy tickets so far out, and that keeps that supply like available for you to figure it out sooner if you need later if you need to.
Yeah,
It's not perfect, but
yeah. So yeah, it is nice. At least it's not similar to that like the Nine Inch Nails tour where it was like not only is the ticket non-transferable, but it has to like match your like license or your ID.
and
Like
didn't you have to go buy those in person too?
Yeah,
which
it was
was
just a whole
that's one
shit
way
show.
to solve that problem.
Oh yeah.
Solved nothing. But basically,
Yeah.
basically, it sounded like the Cure did try and have that discussion of saying like, hey, we don't want to do dynamic pricing. And then also, apparently, I don't know what the wording was, but basically said like, hey, guarantee us that you're going to keep fees within like a respectable range, that kind of thing. Like we get it. You guys have to like, have server fees and yada, 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 but like keep them low. And they like guarantee they would. And then they ended up, it's typical stuff where it's like, oh, like a $50 ticket is now $100. And it's like, what the fuck? That's like 2 tickets. So basically, Robert Smith takes to Twitter like in all caps. I don't know if this is just something
I think
he
that's
does.
just an old man texting.
I don't know if it's old man texting or if that's like he's like, that's my brand, is I'm all caps.
How do I turn this off?
Could be that. But he's British, so it would sound like,
What?
how do I turn this off?
Oh. How do I turn this off?
Yeah. I'm Robert Smith.
I'm Robert Smith.
I don't
I don't
think
know
he
what
has
Ro-
that like
I don't know.
low,
I
but-
don't know. Yeah.
I think Jackson was probably closer.
Well,
Yeah.
I was trying to like yell.
Probably more
I was
somber.
trying to yell because I was upset that caps lock wouldn't
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
off. Be a frustrated British old man.
How do I turn this off?
Oh, it's true.
That's
That's
it.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
maybe
good.
he's not annoyed by it. He's just like, how do I turn this off?
Yeah.
I was trying. I was
calm
trying to
and
think of how
collected
could I
about
it. Yeah.
do the opening of just like having the show me, but like, how do I turn this off?
That's great.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he started
basically,
yelling on Twitter.
yeah, he started yelling on Twitter in the tune of Just Like Heaven. And he basically said, like, hey, I'm working with him right now. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let you guys know. But whenever I read that when this happened, I was just like, this is nothing. This is just PR speak, right? And then he like basically comes back and he said, after further conversation, Ticketmaster have agreed with us that many of the fees being charged are unduly high. And as a gesture of goodwill, have offered any guesses how much? Let's just say it's $50 for the fees. Any guesses
I know
how
how
much
much
they
it was.
offered?
$6.
No, it's $10 if you were a verified fan, $5 if you were not. That's almost like cool. Like cool that
Yeah.
Robert Smith got that to happen, but also like,
But what's
Fuck
even?
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck.
yeah, it's just so funny that that's like, good God, as a gesture of goodwill. Like just at that point, don't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but it took Robert Smith to make this happen and not.
Oh, everyone else could do this. They're
Yeah,
just not
Well,
willing to.
Right. So
Yeah.
that to me, that seems like that's built into Ticketmaster's pricing is like, we can just toss everybody back $10 if
That's the
anybody
PR.
if anybody complains about it. Like
That's the goodwill fee.
that's how much money they're making.
yeah.
But like, also like we've been saying this that like somebody, one of these giant pop stars, Lady Gaga could do it. Any of them could do this, and that's always been just hearsay. It's just
Yeah.
been a guess. And then this happens, and you're like, this dude, like, The Cure haven't released an album since I think like 2013,
Yeah.
and like this dude did something. It just goes to show, oh, that is actually true. Somebody could do something they're just choosing not to
Yeah, you
because
have to-
like they
I
do
mean-
nothing but benefit from it.
Right. They turned down dynamic pricing, which is a lot of money potentially on the table.
It is.
And a lot of other artists are not doing that.
It's just like, I mean, we don't need to go into Ticketmaster again, but I think it's so funny. I've been seeing people repost this,
Yeah.
and they're just like, "Wow, isn't this so cool that he did this? I love The Cure. Makes me want to go to the shows." And I'm just like, it's just a classic
not- I don't
case
know if
of
it's
you
that
didn't
cool.
read the
Yeah.
article. You
Yeah.
just read the headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, boomer. Speaking of boomers, Metallica have bought their own vinyl pressing plant. Are we all going to quit our jobs and go work for them?
Yeah.
I was hoping somebody would do that.
No, I didn't read that article that was sent in the group chat. Did they say why they're doing that?
Yeah, just to keep up with demand. So
For
it's-
just their stuff
It's
though?
No,
but
but
that's why. That's like I read
That was the impetus.
I read the headline and I was like, they're doing this so that they can have it.
well, yeah, yeah.
Or
So,
so they can get priority, I guess, at least.
Yes,
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Jack
they
White.
obviously didn't mention that.
yeah.
I mean, I would think that's okay for them to mention that, honestly.
Well, they
Like,
mentioned
Yeah.
to keep up with demand.
Yeah.
They now own Furnace Record Pressing in Alexandria, Virginia, which basically they said to keep up with demand for the reissued LPs. So
Oh, so this is a record pressing plant that's already been in business.
yeah, they said that they have been working directly with this company for 15 years now. So
Oh.
it's not
Yeah.
as like scummy as you think it.
No,
and, like,
yeah,
I never
I
thought
don't
it
know
was
if that
scummy.
matters that much. There's only like 5 record companies left.
Yeah, it's really not
So-
much.
Yeah. That's very. It's not as. I didn't think it was going to be that scummy in the first place, but I figured they bought it so they would have like first everything,
priority
and I figured it was
goods,
for
yeah.
the new album because I would guess that like they can't get their new album like pressed fast enough, so they were like, well, we're gonna put ourselves in the front of the line, and how we do that is buying this.
And the CEO of Furnace basically said like, hey, we are going to continue to press other or basically non-Metallica projects. Like
Well,
that's
yeah.
not
What
a concern.
What a thing to have to confirm.
So it's just Metallica throwing more money into it.
yeah,
I think it's the fast pass.
Yeah.
They're just skipping the line, which like
I
whatever.
mean, one good upside to this could be if they are having a problem repressing their old albums, maybe this leads to them putting in more capacity, and then
Yeah.
that benefits everybody else.
And then
along.
it'll trickle
they're
down.
going to run out of like points where nobody's going to care if there's more Metallica records. I'm sorry.
But also, well, Walmart will always sell them, so it'll be that. That's
Maybe.
one of those like baby's first vinyl. It's like
Does Walmart sell vinyl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
know.
Walmart and Target both
Best
have
Buy,
like I have
everywhere.
I have a friend who he is like a huge vinyl collector, and whenever anything new drops, or sometimes like Walmart will get super rare pressings.
They get Walmart variants.
Yeah, and it's not sometimes not just Walmart variants. Sometimes it's like very like weirdly specific releases that are going only to Walmart. It's not like it's whatever. But yeah, so they like on Black Friday in particular, this friend of mine will go to every Walmart that he can get to and see what's there.
I remember. I think it was Black Ice by AC/DC. It was either only at Walmart or only at Target. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
And I remember I was going to see AC/DC on that tour. I was like, well, I gotta get the fucking record. And I remember having to go to Walmart to get that shit.
What year was that? Ballpark.
Don't know. I think like 2009 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walmart's been like the number 2 or number 3 retailer for records for like a decade at this point,
Wow.
which seems crazy. 'Cause
I just
none
never
of
go
us
to Walmart.
associate Walmart with that.
No.
Damn, 2008. Fuck, I was so close.
That was very close.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, so I mean, like at the end of the day, I much more support this kind of activity where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
let's like throw money at it, as opposed to being Adele, where it's just like, hey, I'm Adele, I'm gonna skip the line,
Yeah,
and like I'm not gonna do anything for you.
Yeah, this has
other than,
more
like,
potential good
do it.
outcomes.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
bolstering it up instead of just saying like, hey, I'm the biggest pop act. You have to do this. Man,
Yeah.
I'm realizing these news stories are feeling very like I'm in the old rock camp of and like saying fuck all these pop stars for doing things.
Well, and again, like we talked
That
about
is
it.
not the impression I want to give off.
We talked about it when with Adele and any pop star who has skipped the line. It's
Who?
not
Adele?
what?
Adele?
Adele.
Adele.
What?
With excellent.
Adele?
We talked about this with Adele and before, and it's that it's not Adele's fault, right? It's like management, right? It's not
Right.
directly because.
But
of
at the end
her.
of the day, they
And-
do work for her, and
Yeah.
she could be like, no, don't do this.
She could, of course.
She could, but does she know or care?
Yeah.
It easily could be somebody who is like higher up than her that's like, these records have to get put out and I'm going to do this and that's it. And whereas like Metallica actually doing a good thing is probably because they have a lot more control, if not full control, over pretty much everything that they do.
Yeah.
And they should. I mean, I don't like Metallica to listen to them, but they have been around long enough and like obviously have worked their asses off.
Yeah,
Well, they're
that-
like obviously a well-run like business side of the music world for them. Like
yeah.
they probably have management that they can just put in place to like make sure that company keeps running and put our records out first. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
But
it's
that
not a
one,
lot of stuff for them to like figure out now.
that one new song makes me really sad.
Yes.
It's so bad.
It's really bad.
It's so fucking
Is
bad.
it because the drumming's bad?
Are you going to get it on vinyl?
It's one part of why.
Well,
One-
speaking of theoretically bad drummers, did you guys see the hot take about Meg White?
that everybody's having right now. Yeah.
Well, it was specifically what happened is there was this journalist whose name is Lachlan Marquet, who basically tweeted out a bad take about Meg White, basically saying like, "Oh, she's just fucking terrible," blah blah blah. And then all these drummers, famous drummers, Questlove, etc., came out and said like, "Hey, whoa, what the fuck? Like Meg White's great. Like, don't
Yeah.
be a dick, all that kind of stuff." And then, Adam, did you see this?
No. I was about to ask, is she's not like active and doesn't do anything?
No,
right?
she's like notoriously what do you call that? Keeps to herself. What is that?
Reclusive?
Yeah, that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like she
the other R word.
yeah. Oh, we found them all.
Oh, can we name this episode the R word?
Nope. No. Everybody look at the camera just like Jim. No.
No.
I hope we all did, because that'll be a good.
Yeah, that'll be
thumbnail
the
then.
thumbnail. I'm working double duty
Or
here.
at least the three of us. Adam's just
I
like
did not.
looking down
Adam's
at
looking at his
shoes.
phone.
So Adam, this is where
Make it a
crowd.
note to not title it what Dave suggested.
So guys, can you think of who may have come to Meg White's what am I defense? What other drummer may
Rescue.
have done this? Adam?
Yeah, Dave Grohl.
No, it's Jack White. I'm gonna need you to read the poem he put up.
I'm not going to do that.
Do it, Adam. Please do it. Adam, please do it.
Too
I
long.
could not finish reading that thing whenever
I have not read. I'll read it.
Yeah.
Or someone else has to read it.
I'll read it, but I
Someone
found,
read the poem.
I found that reading that thing whenever I saw the post, I was like, this is exhausting.
I debated on
It's
reading
very
it,
on
and
brand
then
for him, though.
and then I was just like, it felt like injecting cringe purely into my veins, and I was like, I'm not going to do this.
Yep.
So like, this is it. This
Okay.
is
Jack
Jack
White.
White's poem he posted in defense of Meg White.
How did he post it? He doesn't
Instagram, right?
use phones and
Carrier
stuff.
pigeon.
I think
Okay.
I think it was on his Instagram with a picture of them.
Oh no! This was
Like he mailed this poem to his assistant.
he put this balloon up and it was going towards Canada, and Justin Trudeau was like, "Hey, what's this about?" And I'm like, yeah.
Okay, so this is the poem. To be born in another time, any era but our own would have been fine. 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, some other distant, different time. One without demons, cowards, and vampires out for blood. One with the positive inspiration to foster what is good. An empty field where no tall red poppies are cut down. Where we could lay all day, every day, on the warm and subtle ground. And now, just what to say and what to play to conjure our own sounds. And be one with the others all around us. And even still the ones who came before. And help ourselves and all their love, and to pass it on again once more. To have bliss upon bliss upon bliss, to be without fear, negativity, or pain, and to get up every morning and be happy to do it all again.
That said nothing about drums.
This poetic reading has been brought to you by Don't Feed the Artists.
I faulted. Don't
You're
feed,
good at
don't feed the
reading.
fartist. Great job, man.
You're a good reader.
I was stressed.
That was not a good poem.
Yeah, are you
Seemed like it.
Are you pitting?
No. I'm just I'm sitting awkwardly now because that's over.
He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
That's how I feel anytime that there's I have to read anything that's more than just like surmising a sentence.
I like doing theater made me get better at that. Theater, yeah, made me get better at that. But I still am like horrible at it because I was very close to testing dyslexic. Dick
Well, you
Leck.
did great.
Thank you.
What?
Dick Leckett.
Lysdexia.
Dick Lickett.
Dick Leckett.
Nice.
I'm uncomfortable.
It's just
Yeah, where are the cancel bucks?
I'm
I'll
not
take
really I'm not really
Dave
here.
gets one for our word, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, if we're suggesting the title of it, yeah.
I
So that was something that he posted and it was supposed to matter?
Yeah, you're right, Adam.
It was
nailed
supposed
it.
to.
It felt like it was just
supposed
about
to.
him. Like,
Yeah.
which I guess is
classic.
on brand.
Wait,
so,
Yeah, I was gonna say classic.
and
Jack
the White
White.
Stripes wasn't just about him.
Yeah,
I
that was
didn't say that.
That was him defending Meg White. That's what that was.
Yeah. It like I'm not saying that we have to have this big discussion about Meg White. Clearly if she was like a super dog shit drummer, that band wouldn't have worked out. Yada yada. She was
Yeah.
the right drummer for the right band. There
Well,
are
it's just
wrong
really
drummers
shitty to do
and-
this when she's not active doing stuff. Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to be out there like defending herself or anything, and that would be stupid if she'd have to anyway. But
I find that like it is shitty to like just like shit on Meg White of all like the cliches like to shit on like quote unquote bad drummers like Lars gets it, Meg
Ringo.
White gets it, Ringo gets it. Meg White's the one that I'm like I don't understand. Like she's like that's kind of the whole like shtick. She's not a great drummer, but what she did was really good.
Yeah, she's not a technical drummer.
Yeah.
Like
That's
imagine
the
putting,
word. That's the distinction. Is she's not a technical drummer.
but you don't
but for the
need
music,
that.
it worked.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
putting like Mike Portnoy in the White Stripes. It would sound like shit.
Well, even like putting someone like a rock drummer behind that kit wouldn't do the same thing that Meg White would do.
Yeah.
And like the way that she played it was a really big inspiration for a lot of people. I wouldn't go as far as to say that she is like a staple in drums forever, but a lot of people would. That's fine. But like what she did was obviously undeniably inspirational. Just like when talking about Lars, like it would be foolish of me to ignore the fact that Lars was a big inspiration when I got started. Now looking back on it, he sucks. But like I don't know that when I'm starting. Like how he plays and how Meg White plays are really big for a lot of young drummers.
Well, and how Lars played back in the day with like the early records, it sounded great.
Yeah. Sounded okay.
It fit the music really well.
It did. Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Meg White will go down in the history books as one of the best drummers, or one of the most famous drummers
Most
that ever lived.
notable, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like Sheila E. and then
Who's Sheila E?
Prince's drummer,
Okay.
or well, percussionist mainly, but also drummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
That's stupid.
yeah, of course, it is.
Especially because she's not defending herself. But to be
Yeah.
fair, she's probably like on a yacht or in like a really
I doubt that.
really
I think
well
she's,
set up.
I think she's
place.
probably just like at a normal ass house and
Yeah.
wherever, like if she's still in Detroit,
Detroit, yeah.
or if she's just like, I doubt she's like a Jack White type where she's like, I'm on a farm. I bet
could,
she's
though.
just like in a typical house. Apparently, she got married in her backyard, like, but after the White Stripes broke up to like now. Like somewhere in there, like according to Jack White, it was like, oh yeah, she had a really nice ceremony. It was in her backyard, and they were like, oh, when did this happen? He goes, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The great news. Do you guys see all of our favorite band, U2? That was a weird sentence.
We actually we talked about it briefly on our live stream on Friday. But
Really?
yeah, but it was only
I
because
guess I should have watched
Yeah,
that.
we should have known
Yeah,
that.
you guys don't have to watch that.
Well, Jackson did watch it.
I don't know what you're
Watch
talking about.
He just pulls it up in a tab.
No.
No.
We
We made him leave.
I tell myself every time, do not open this up, and then I do it, and I rage quit.
He got really mad at a song choice of ours and was yelling about it. So
Was he yelling?
supposedly yelling. I don't know.
I was not
That's what your
yelling.
partner said.
I was frustrated by the song choice, so then I put in the chat my thoughts, and then I was like, I'm out. I have to leave. And then my partner then saw this and was laughing at me, then gets in, and then everybody's lighting me up in the chat. And I was like, actually, fuck this. I'm leaving.
We played the song. We played the other one.
Yeah.
We
No,
listened to
I
it.
totally like. It's not a dig on you guys. It's more for me. It's one of those like. I don't normally get this of like the yelling in your car at the podcast
Oh,
when they're
sure.
like, "Oh, what's that guy's name who's in the Mission Impossible movies who's always trying to kill himself?" You're yelling Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But like I don't normally get that. And then when it's people I know, I'm like, "Well, they know better than this." And then like I'm just like I get that is the hardest I get it, and I get like it is the most like I'm like looking at the live stream and I'm like, oh, I get it why people yell in comment sections. I get the YouTube comment section now. So
I'm
that's
so
why
glad
we
we're
weren't
actually yelling.
I'm so glad
No.
that we could help you understand the YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that we could get you there.
So I tell myself I can't watch y'all's
Yeah.
streams for that reason. Not because like, oh, it's bad content and I'm frustrated. It's more that like I'm just gonna get frustrated because I'm like, oh, I know the answer here.
Yeah.
And there's the chat delay. So like by the time you guys read my comment answering your thing, you're really like, what are you talking about,
that's fair.
Jackson?
Well, chat delay. I think I fixed that, but that's not the point. We did talk
I
about.
think everybody's got it. I don't think that's on you.
There's a setting that's like a low latency setting that'll help with the chat.
Performance mode or ray tracing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
We did talk about the U2 thing, but not to like a big extent, but just kind of
What
like the-
U2 thing?
So they released a quadruple album. There's 4 discs.
Is
and
it actually coming out physically?
I don't.
It
I have
has
no.
to.
I-
It's U2.
it's but on Apple
They
Music.
just bought a record.
Yeah,
player.
I was gonna say.
yeah.
Like
They can do whatever
25
the fuck they want
LPs.
to.
Yeah, on Apple Music, it's split up into 4 discs. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes of old songs of theirs, like B-sides, like stuff that they like,
not
don't-
B-sides.
No,
man.
that's
Well,
not.
that's
yeah,
that's how they talk about it. That's how that's like one of how
Do they know what B sides are?
Their most famous songs.
but so they re-recorded
With or
them.
without you. Bad Day. Or sorry, Beautiful Day. Fuck.
They re-recorded them and
Bad day.
Having one of those.
Rearrange them.
whatever.
The funniest part for me was in the article that with them talking about it. They were like, Yeah, we just really like we changed the key.
But
and
they're
it's like,
Irish. So what
that's-
did this sound like?
like we just we changed the key.
Well, we thought maybe there would be a third disc, but then we said maybe 4.
There's got to be a fourth.
Oh, yes.
We can't fill all the songs on 3 of these discs. There has to be a fourth.
I just
What
like
do you
saying
think, Bono?
third. Yeah. What do you think, Bono?
What do you
Oh,
think, Bono?
Bono, where are you
I
going?
think we should keep it at 3.
Bono, where are you going?
No, not 3, the desert.
So, yeah, it's just, okay. So let's roll this back. Does anybody here like U2?
No.
No, I was gonna say it's been decades since I intentionally listened to U2.
I don't think I've ever actually like given them a chance.
I've tried to listen to Joshua Tree. I have people that I respect musically that are fans of U2.
I bet they're all in Christian. I know I'm not.
Not in Christian bands, but like are involved in that stuff.
Worship music heard U2 and said, yep, that's the sound. And then now somehow they've co-opted the sound and now U2 sounds like a Christian band. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen?
Stadiums.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
It is egregiously stadium rock.
And stadium, like, see, contemporary Christian music is stadium music. It's stuff that you
Yeah.
can chant.
That's
Yeah.
true. And it's being performed in like mega churches.
Yeah, and both instances of music are all jam-packed full of delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Edge, that's the Edge's legacy is like delay.
Yeah.
But one
Just
of the
effects.
one that
yeah.
I actually an effect. I quoted I pulled a quote from one of the reviews listed on Wikipedia from it, and it said or I guess I did.
Well, while you're doing that, how I heard about this is so Zane Lowe did an interview. And you guys know this if you've listened to the show. I love Zane Lowe. I watch almost all of his reviews unless it's like with someone that I'm like, I absolutely despise this person. And I was like, even though I don't like U2, I can imagine Bono and The Edge have some unique perspectives being who they are.
Did
So I
you
was like,
watch the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
I tried to watch it like 4 times.
They are frustrating people.
Yeah.
The two of them. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I was just listening to it. And I thought they just released a new record. And then I found out what this record was. And I was like, oh shit, what the fuck did you guys do? So it's just like, did you find the review?
No, I
Okay.
give up on finding it.
Got it.
It's reasonable to think this is just another album because they had another album come out like last year or 2 years ago with
Yeah.
basically the same title format.
Yeah. I was
It's
confused
really
by that
weird,
too. Yeah.
'cause that
Well,
that
it's
seems like a
SOS.
But what's the
okay.
what's the name of this one? Is it like
Songs of Surrender.
yeah? So the album they put
Songs
out
of
was
Innocence was
Songs
the
of
other one,
Innocence.
yeah.
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 So it's like I thought this was like
I
another
thought
part.
they were doing like a trilogy thing of like, oh, we're doing like I don't know what the other
kind of
album
with
sounded
4
like.
albums. There's probably at least a trilogy somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bono's
That's the
memoir.
extended edition.
yeah.
I think that's part of what it was too. Is that while they were recording this, he wrote his memoirs or something, right?
Yeah. Zane Lowe kept mentioning like, oh yeah, in your book. And you could tell Bono was like, yeah, you fucking read my book.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
right.
yeah, dude, he's a professional. This is his
Yeah,
fucking
he did
job.
his
Well,
research.
To be fair, he's probably been on a lot of like talk shows and stuff recently where they definitely don't read those books and they're like, yeah, you wrote a book. Here's my unopened copy that is sitting behind me.
Yes. do you have a? Can I borrow your keys real quick? I need to get the wrap off.
But yeah, this reviewer or whatever was just saying like, yeah, it was nice to hear the Edge or Edge. I don't know if it's the before it, but
It is the
yeah, the Edge playing without delay.
Which-
And people were like, he's actually a really good guitar player. And it's like, well, yeah, of
also,
course he
they're-
is.
So I know I said we wouldn't listen to this. I listened to the first CD on my way here,
You bastard.
and there's delay on it.
Is
it's
there?
just an acoustic guitar. It is so washed out. It's like an acoustic record, which is just so like when you're I'm listening to the Zane Lowe interview, and by the way, it's a 2-parter. They at the very end of it, they're like to be continued. I was like, get fucked.
Did you watch both?
It's not out yet.
Oh my
There,
God.
it's like a cliffhanger. I'm like, no, it's not.
And
This
then at
is
the end of the
U2.
second part, there's gonna be 4 parts. At the end, it's gonna say.
It's gonna be one for every disc.
And the cliffhanger is that they're gonna do the next one sitting on top of a fucking cliff on a mountaintop, like they did in It Might Get Loud, and
Just
and
push 'em.
That's where he's gonna show all the pedals he used.
all the pedals
and
that
God.
Yeah.
So,
So I was wrong. Their past 2 albums have had that same format.
That's right.
well,
okay,
one
yeah.
of them,
Which makes
one
that
of them
even
was the
weirder.
iTunes album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes that even stranger that they did this same title format for this one, which
It is a
like,
trilogy.
Yeah, but it's different. It's
Let it
These
go.
aren't new songs.
I am legally required because my partner told me I have to tell everyone this, that she is still very pissed at U2 for putting their album on her phone, which she to this day has on her phone and can't get off. That's it. That's all I have to say on that topic. We've talked about it before.
There you go. All right.
So
I have a copy of that software from when I worked at that store.
what the fruit store?
Yeah.
Nice. The fruit
Right next to
stall?
the calculator store.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right next door.
Yeah, so it's so interesting. I did listen to it. As I said, I've never like given them a fair shake, and by that I mean like listen to Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
I've heard the big songs, and I remember that song Vertigo being out, and like the fucking the music video always playing in between music videos I actually wanted to see. So I just kind of like I know that song. But it's an interesting band where they're massive, but I don't know a single person who likes them.
No.
Other than like people who are like my godmother's husband, who I guess is my godfather.
People
but,
you
like,
don't really interact with.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
that much. And like I remember they came once to a Moniker show, and there was a Delay song in it. And he
Everyone
like
always,
afterwards,
but everyone said this is a U2. That was a U2
yeah, he
song.
said I just like I love that song. I was
Which
like,
song was it?
Deep Down.
Oh my god.
And he said, I love that song. I said, thank you. That's one of our oldest songs, actually, from a previous band. And he said, man, I just like, I don't know if you've ever listened to U2, but like, that's my favorite band. And I'm just like, fuck.
Dude, we've gotten like U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
We get compared to only bands I don't like.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters, U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Somebody come up to me and say, you guys sound like Modest Mouse. And I'll be like, cool. I'll suck your dick right now. Drop trap.
You heard it here. We're playing in Oklahoma on Friday. If you want a free blowjob,
Yeah, like I've said it. I can't walk back on it now. But
Yeah, there's no audio delay this time.
I've never given them. I've never given them a fair shake, but it's one of those things where
it's a weird thing to say after a blowjob.
Yeah, but like most bands like this, like Coldplay. That's a great
Yeah.
example. I hate Coldplay. Don't like them at all. You play Yellow around me, I'm like, this is a great song.
And Rush of Blood to the Head. That record's fucking great.
That whole
Don't know what
album,
you're
yeah,
talking about.
Yeah.
But Yellow's a great song, and I just like, but the rest of their catalog, absolute dog shit. Hate it. Just one song for me.
False.
But no, for
they're
me,
also
Yeah, I
they're
know.
also one of the biggest bands. Of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like type.
but
Yeah.
U2 is one of those bands where I know With or Without You. I know
Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday Bloody Sunday. What's the other one? I know A Beautiful Day. I know Vertigo.
I don't know Beautiful Day.
It's a
Oh, I do know that song.
Yeah.
As soon as I said the words, I could
Like,
fucking hear it.
It's big. It's
Then you
big.
echoed it in my brain. I was like, oh, okay.
What's that?
I gave you the YouTube
delay.
delay. Yeah.
Where the Streets Have No Names. I
Yeah.
know that one.
They're a big like commercial band.
But like,
So-
none of
Like
these
in terms
songs,
of like being in like video commercials and stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't like any of none of these songs. If they just came on at a bar, I would be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like all of
Yeah.
them, I'm just like, no, don't do this.
So it's an album of re-recorded material. For what reason?
Yeah.
For what?
because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not-
what I explained.
Yes.
Importantly, it's not like this is their last album.
Yeah.
No.
You have to wonder, is it like
Boredom.
no? Well, yeah, it is. But like also Bono, old man, can't sing that well. So it's like
Yeah.
some of these like really good songs. Just fuck. I can't believe I said that. But these really popular
boys.
songs from like the 80s or 70s, like then are like now like completely like old man voice, and it's like, oh, you're tainting it. Maybe don't do this. Maybe you're gonna sell less tickets now. Don't do that.
They're not going to sell less
No,
tickets.
there's people who are
And it was
going
produced.
to see them.
The Edge produced it. He was one of the producers on the record.
It just it's weak. I mean, like maybe if you're a big fan, but it to me, I'm wondering.
fan.
I'm wondering if this is one of those things where they're trying to kind of they don't have the rights to their big songs, and maybe they're trying to like carve out some of the profit there.
Maybe, but that doesn't seem likely to me just because I can't imagine they don't have the money they could have bought back their rights at this point. At least for
no.
like the songs they want to.
Maybe.
I also just think it's funny that they made a big point to talk about like the fact that they were changing the key of the song and like
Yeah, and they changed lyrics too.
changed lyrics,
and
changed
there's like
arrangements.
one song where the Edge is singing it instead of
Yeah.
like Bono, and like when they were explaining it, I was like, oh, this is like I get this. This is like an interesting idea. You're changing lyrics because you were like, oh, this song was like about this, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a boy wrote it, and now I'm like, I'm an old man. Like this is what it should be, and now I'm singing to that self, and I was like, that's a good idea. Then I heard the song, and I was like, this is bad. It's real bad. Maybe don't have the guitarist sing.
I wonder, like, okay, so they do this, because they're bored, I guess, and then they do it during the pandemic, right? And like they change stuff up, and like there's the side of it where we look back, especially like if you ever written a song, you look back on it and go, oh, I could change these things, I could change these things are different.
or
now,
if you weren't
right?
in the band when they were recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
not
you
like
could-
the basis for Weezer right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a unique perspective here.
I do.
The basis for Weezer, he was not in their two biggest albums.
No.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's part of him that's just like, apparently he's like pretty like snooty about that other bassist.
Well, and it's
But
it ma-
like, what's that like?
Yeah.
Not that
It's-
like this, the albums you weren't on were our biggest albums.
No, but I mean, like one of the songs is what is the biggest song. She's Fine. I would say,
Yeah.
and it's like, I would fucking love to re-record that.
Yeah. I get that. And we kind of talked about this a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but, like,
last week or something.
Also, it's been
Yeah, I think it was last week.
it's been a kind of a trend we've seen around. Obviously, with Taylor Swift has done this, and
Yeah.
that is very much trying to get the rights back to her songs in a specific way, and her fans have rallied behind it as like, hey, if you're listening to Taylor Swift, if you're listening to these albums, listen to the Taylor's versions, right?
Yeah, so like re-recorded music, there's a number of reasons why we see it, and a lot of times it has to do with like copyright purposes. There's like the exceptions to the rule, like in like the 60s, people were re-recording music because they wanted it to be in stereo instead of mono. But like in general, most of like re-recorded stuff is like it has to do with copyright purposes, people wanting to get rights. I think Def Leppard had an example of this too, where they re-recorded stuff because they wanted to.
Speaking of which, did you guys see what happened to the drummer of Def Leppard this past week?
No.
Somebody attacked him.
Yeah, like a 19. They were in Florida. They had just played like the Hard Rock Hotel or something like that. Def Leppard had just played, and then drummer is going back to his hotel room as like at the Four Seasons or something like that. This 19-year-old kid just comes up behind him and hits him in the head, and he like falls over. And keep in mind, like not super important, but this man only has one arm, so like
Yeah.
like turning around and attacking this, like you are attacking somebody who is not gonna like be able to attack you in the same way. So it's just like this is like shitty on so many levels. Not clear what prompted this attack, but like everyone who was there was like, yeah, this kid just walked up to him and just started attacking him.
Jeez.
Some woman came up to like pull him off to stop him. He turns around, grabs her by the hair, throws her on the ground, and starts attacking her. Kid got obviously caught, but like
one-handed,
but it's just like, what the fuck?
red-handed.
It seems
Sorry.
so weird. Though there's give him a
Here's a cancel, Buck Buddy.
yeah, that's great. Sorry to
that one.
sorry to divert. So what did the
Yeah,
that's
what,
all,
yep.
folks.
Def Leppard also has re-recorded music, and I'm pretty sure it's, if I remember correctly, it was for
Yeah, I
copyright
think reading
purposes
about it,
too.
it was
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are like the only 3 examples that I could find.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's largely the main reason.
I know
too.
plenty of bands that like so Dashboard Confessional did this like recently, and so like I hope that I never meet him because this seems really mean. But that dude can't sing the way he used to sing.
He knows that.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
But like it's his job, and like I don't think he's big enough to just be like, all right, I'm done. I'm moving.
All right, I'm done.
It's not like
can't
that.
quite
It's
sing
more
like I
like
used to be able to.
he's always like cracking. His voice is he's
Where's
clearly
Rachel?
damaged it. Yeah. So like he re-recorded, I think it was 3 or 4 of his albums, and this was, I think it was during the pandemic.
Yeah,
And
it's boredom.
Turns out people just got bored. yeah.
But maybe it's boredom. Maybe it is trying to like get some money back there. But like when he re-recorded them, I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to some of these because like these are great albums. He re-recorded like his first 3 or first 4 albums. I was like, these are great albums. I'm gonna listen to them. And I was like, man, I don't think I'm ever going to see you live again, dude. This is rough to listen to. It was real difficult.
Yeah, I saw a live clip the other day of him like singing one of their old songs. And he just like backs away from the mic and lets the crowd sing it, which is the way to do it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the way to do it.
So I mean, we talked about last week, and you know, we as a band Moniker have talked about like re-recording stuff at some point in time. But I think that one of the things that would always that would hold me back is mostly like it feels relatively like self-indulgent, and like I think that, you know, whenever I see these larger acts re-record their stuff, I feel like there's just this level of like, you know, Taylor Swift doing it is different. Taylor Swift doing it is like there's and all the
There's
copyright
a very
examples.
clear like
yeah.
intention. Yeah.
But whenever I see larger acts like the U2 thing, I'm like, you're doing this solely for yourself, and I guess to make money hypothetically.
Well, Bono very clearly has a gigantic ego.
Yeah.
So like he's doing this because he wants to do this.
And I like, of course, there's always going to be stuff you can change to a song. You can rearrange stuff. You can, like, you know, do the live version. You know, if Foos went back and did some stuff, they'd be totally different for a multitude of reasons, but also because they have live versions of songs that are like very different than the recorded version. And that kind of stuff is really cool. But also like it just seems really like hyper selfish and hyper like in your own artistic brain, and it takes me back to like a larger place of like when you're in the studio throwing everything at a recording.
Yes.
It's like, why are you throwing everything at a recording? It's good to like it doesn't hurt to record stuff, but it does hurt to, usually it hurts to actually keep everything in there.
Right.
It's like you don't put every ingredient on a pizza because you can. You pick the ones that are going to be
Just
good.
pineapple and black olives.
Exactly. Perfect.
This seems
would
like
like-
a case of like it's cool they recorded these if they needed to do that for themselves or whatever, but
Yeah.
you don't have to release them all. Like,
Yeah, 4 discs worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Whittle
like,
them down. There's like some people that reviewed the album were like, yeah, I would have liked this if it was 10 songs.
Yeah.
Like there was an interesting idea of like go back and revisit songs that you did like 40 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
like, do you
But-
think that there's any like bands that like you like that this could be cool? Like, do they like? I can't think of a band right now.
Who's the lead singer of the main songwriter of the Beach Boys? I'm blanking.
Brian Wilson?
Brian Wilson. I would love to hear Brian Wilson re-record.
Yeah,
just
that'd be
him
cool.
with vocals and piano. All the Beach Boys hits.
I think that would be too painful for him. I think he would
I
be
know,
pretty
but I
against
think
that.
I would love to hear that.
And that, to me, that sounds like a different idea, because it's
Yeah,
like
of
it's like
course.
because it's like they're like that actually would be like a like 100% different arrangements. Not the band, it's one guy. It's not just like going back like as a group and going, let's do this again because
like,
I guess
imagine
I always go towards old people. I would love to hear the Rolling Stones re-record some of their hits.
imagine Radiohead like re-recording
Yeah.
the entirety of Pablo Honey.
Yeah, just
That
just
could
to,
be really interesting.
just to see as a timestamp of where the band was when they recorded it versus how much they've grown over 30, 40, 50 years and how they've continued playing this music and sitting with it, because you don't play a song the same way over a decade.
right.
And
I
sometimes
think
songs
U2 might.
well, maybe, yeah.
Maybe
Well,
that's part of the
at a
problem,
certain
though.
point, they almost have to, because you know their
That's why
favorite
people
part of the
go.
song
Yeah.
is why someone's at the concert.
Yeah.
But like, I was watching the Elton John the live concert that was streamed on Disney Plus. My wife and I were watching, and I was like, man, he can still entertain, but his voice is obviously not where it used to be.
yeah.
Surgically, like he had something happen in the 80s.
Yeah.
But regardless of that being
Still sounds
surgical,
great.
it's still a muscle and you're
Yeah.
a human. So like over time, like it's just going to change. And
Yeah.
my heart goes out to like musicians in that way, or like singers in that way, because it's just like that's what you're known for. And unfortunately, at some point, it is going to change, and you either change with it, or there's going to be 4 fuckheads on a podcast saying like, dude can't sing anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean there are exceptions, like Joe Walsh. His voice
Yeah.
still sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean that's just like genetics and
That's a
stuff.
freak. Yeah,
There's
freak occurrence.
just Paul McCartney. Paul
Yeah.
McCartney still sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like there's always gonna be exceptions to like my blanket statement of like re-recording feels selfish, but I think that for the most part, like when we use the U2 example, it just feels like they're doing it because they can, because they're bored, and it doesn't actually do anything for the music. It's like you said, it was like, cool, you changed the key. Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's
not a
'cause you
big fucking
can't
deal.
sing that key anymore.
Yeah, like but it makes them sound fancier to like to
Yeah.
other people, right?
Yeah,
they were
so
saying
the
it-
dads of
Yeah,
the world
exactly,
are like,
yeah.
yeah, it's in a different key now, totally different song.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were making it sound like it was a sticking point. Like, oh, they changed the key.
Yeah, when it's
Whoa,
when
what
it's
an
they changed
innovative
the key.
idea. Nobody's
It's like
ever
you
done.
wouldn't even fucking know.
yeah.
If you
yeah.
played that song in its original key, a different song from another band and then played that same song again in the new key,
You know what it
you
sounds
wouldn't hear
like?
the difference.
Sounds like we should record some U2 songs in a different key and rake in that fucking dough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get.
It ain't a cover, bitch. It's a new song.
Let's do 4 albums, four discs.
Do I have to wear the glasses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of the bit.
You have to get more delay pedals too.
I don't even know how to use the one I have.
Well,
It doesn't matter. Just
It
as long
doesn't
as
matter.
there's
They just all
delay.
blend
I
together.
have set presets and like every 5 years I try out a new one and I'm like, oh,
It doesn't matter.
hopefully
If
I
you,
don't need that old one I just erased.
It doesn't matter if you know how. You just have to have delay. That's it. You just
Sure.
have to have a
I mean,
delay.
that's the secret to being the Edge, apparently.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a
Man,
bunch of them.
In the Zane Lowe interview, Bono was like, this is the most influential guitar player of our time. And he won't admit it. And I was just like,
Whose time?
whose time?
Well, no, yeah,
no.
seriously, whose time?
Well,
It's more like where,
that's
like Ireland's.
but that's why he was.
390 milliseconds.
That's why he was
quarter notes.
That's why he was on "It Might Get Loud." That's
right,
that's
but he
the
was
reason. Yeah.
easily the weakest person on that
Oh,
entire thing.
Yeah, by a
Dude's
long
leaning
shot.
on his
It did.
pedals.
It did seem like he knew he was the weakest one there, though.
Yeah,
but
for
how
sure.
they didn't get like Eddie Van Halen.
Well, he said no.
Oh, yeah, okay, there you go.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
because he
know,
saw
I'm
that
just
little
assuming.
clip of Jack White saying, "Yo, there's probably
Building
gonna be
his
a
guitar.
fist fight."
I would have much rather because like who was it? It was
Jimmy Page,
Jimmy Page, Jack White,
to
And
Edge.
Edge.
The Edge. It would make so much to me. It would be so much better if like Kirk was there. Kirk Hammett. was there. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
like,
great.
delay, wah,
Yeah.
and a piece of wood.
Well, it's basically it's like two blues guitarists and then this like stadium rock guitarist,
Yeah.
Well,
and
they-
it's like okay, well, like the Edge is obviously the odd man out there.
They were doing eras
Yeah.
too. They were doing 70s, 80s, and
Yeah.
beyond. So,
but
that
still, like that's like two blues guitarists and then one like stadium rocker, and
Yeah.
it's like that. Like
Yeah.
they fucked him over.
well, and then they played the Zeppelin tune, and the Edge couldn't keep up, and he couldn't figure it out in time. It was like very awkward.
Because he looked confused.
Yeah, it was like the
Like-
first time he heard the song, and like he isn't good at learning songs quick. I guess it was super weird.
It's like, oh, there's the immediate hole in your musicianship. It's like,
I mean, to be honest, like if I was ever asked to do something like that, like if I was ever a revered player, I would immediately say no because I'm that way of like, I can't play anything unless I've like rehearsed it and like figured it out. So if somebody were like, anytime I'm with somebody who doesn't know this and they're like, let's just jam, I'm like, no, that is not going to happen. I don't know if you understand how this works. Yeah. I don't know if there's anyone I want to hear re-record albums or songs. I do miss that era. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I miss that era when people were like recording versions of their songs like in Spanish. Like the actual singers would do it, and like I remember there would be like 8 different versions of like a Katy Perry song, and she's singing in like Korean, and I'm just like,
I
this
miss
is
that totally.
awesome. There's a Katy Perry song in Simlish, which is the Sims video game language. That was a huge craze. Like they used to like, I think they're called like Simlish versions, but like they used to like re-record versions of pop songs in the Sim language, and it is fucking great. I'm gonna show you later. And there's like videos of Katy Perry doing this in the studio. It's
but
gold.
But that makes
That's
more
a
sense.
good like corporate
yeah.
like paycheck.
That makes more sense
even
than
that's just a day in the studio.
and the
Yeah.
memers love it.
yeah. That makes more sense than like U2 going back and recording all like a bunch of shit because they want to. This is like, I mean, first of all, if you're recording other languages, that makes more sense. If you're recording in Simlish, it's a bit, and that's funny. It's not. That's that.
You're getting paid a bunch of money by
Yeah.
EA or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember NoFX, their like big song are they broken up now? I know
they're retired.
Okay. Cool. Their big song is that Linoleum.
Yeah.
And like the 20-year anniversary of it, they recorded like Linoleum 2. And it's like this exact same song, but they changed the lyrics of just like shit talking the song and saying like, this is the song you guys want to hear. This is the only song, like get fucked. Like here it is. Here's the sequel to the song. And then at the end, they're like, we're just kidding. We actually love this song.
Yeah.
But like, that's funny. But like
Yeah,
only
that's being
NoFX could do
self-aware,
that.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a ska band or like one of those like funny punk bands could do that.
Yeah. I'm sure there would be an example of something that I would like to hear re-recorded, but
What about if Between the Buried and Me did like the first record?
nah. Nah, I'm good. It would be interesting, but like them playing that live is like a novelty, and it's like that's to me that's like I think there would be an example that probably exists that I would like to hear a band go back and do something again. But like talking about like looking at like where they were when they did it and where they are now, like whenever you do hear a band do an old song, it feels like a special thing, and hearing like and if it was went back and recorded.
You hear?
If they went back and re-recorded it, I feel like part of like the novelty, part of the specialness of like we've grown and we are still playing this for the fans, and that's why we're doing this. It's like Biddy Bam hates playing Selkies. They hate playing that song.
Let's talk about like Mordecai.
Yeah, of course, but like and they play that as an encore. That's it.
Right.
It's like that's the encore.
Part of it that I think is cool is just to get an updated take on again arrangements, but also recording. Like some bands' first EP or first record doesn't sound. It sounds dated.
Well, going back to Dashboard, that's kind of how it was for Dashboard. Is the first album was just the singer and his guitar, and then
is he the like Derek?
It's Chris Cabrera.
Cabrera,
I think is the name.
Is he Dashboard Confessionals? Or is it
no,
been the
not
same
anymore.
lineup? Okay.
Not anymore. So like they were a band for I think it's like 6 albums, and then they went on hiatus, and then they got back together, and that band for the first 5 albums, or it's like first album is just him, and then he got a band together, and it was the same band for album 2 to 6. So like it was a solid lineup. Like everyone like knew it as like clearly he's like the creative force like songwriting wise, but like it was a band. You could see the imprint, especially on the guitarist. He sang a lot of high harmonies, and he had a very distinct, like, his riffs made sense in that time. Like, it's just like it sounded like Dashboard, and they don't have that anymore. They've gotten back together. It's the same bassist and Chris, but everyone else it's kind of revolved around. Seems like hired guns at this point,
right?
Except for the bassist and him. But that first album is just the guitar and singing. And it's really good, but I think it was handed around as like a bootleg demo for a while, and then he put out an official release, and then like he got a lot of traction. He's like, oh fuck, we need to like record an actual album. And so a few songs on that first record were re-recorded with a band. So basically the quote unquote hits with the band. And most people prefer that the second album because that's when people officially see that band starting. But for me, I heard that first album before I heard the second album, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like they just tacked on drums on this song, and I don't really like it. And people are like, no, it's always had drums. It's like, you clearly don't know. And it just always felt weird to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's not really any bands that I would say I'd want to see this.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that I would.
I'm trying to think of someone like if they were still alive, like a Leonard Cohen or a Bowie. Or like even a Bob Dylan, like are there any of those like legacy acts who are like songwriter types who like it would be cool to see them
reinterpret and approach their stuff,
Yeah, like would that be cool to see like Bowie do his like disco stuff in the Lazarus style? Like who knows?
Yeah, that
Probably
could be cool.
not. But
Well,
but like so here's the thing.
Well, I'm thinking it probably wouldn't be good, rather.
But here's the thing is that
yeah.
we hear stuff like that and you're like, it's a bad song. But like when you write a song, you typically there's something that got you through writing that song. You don't like.
Yeah, if David Bowie was cocaine.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say at his level, there probably is the sense of like, hey, I just got to put out a record.
Yeah.
Like contractually I have to. But like for me, whenever I write a song, like I'm coming up with ideas all the time, but like not enough of them are good. There's not enough good ones to finish what I start.
Right,
The
you have
ones-
to like self-edit yourself.
Correct.
Yeah.
And like whenever I actually finish a song, that means because one of those ideas I felt was good enough to flesh out fully. So on that, like on a disco record or something that people like universally pan, I guarantee you there's like morsels in those songs that artist was like, there was something there and I felt it. I didn't execute well. If I could go back, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet there's that. I bet Radiohead could do it with their first album. I think certain people could. It'd be interesting to hear. I would love to hear like David Byrne redo some Talking Head songs
That would be pretty
without
good.
the Talking Heads, just him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that working.
I mean, he does it live in that like American Utopia record or like the live thing he did, and it's super interesting how he did it. But I think it would be interesting to hear him record it because then it's like he's not constricted by the medium of a performance. He could do anything. He could literally hire anyone to do it. I think that would be cool. I think there's probably plenty of
Yeah,
like
there's examples I'm sure that would be really really cool. I like this the songwriter one definitely. I think any old songwriter going back kind of revisiting stuff I think would be a really interesting thing.
yeah.
I think the takeaway is that U2 is not the best band to do this.
Yep.
Fuck
But
those
they're-
guys.
They're also the same band that went to Apple and said, "Can you make us an iPod with only our music?"
We talked about this, but like they've been in bed with Apple for a while. That
Yeah.
little like logo on iTunes, the singer,
Right.
that's Bono.
Before the iTunes logo changed to a music note, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm aging
No, that's still
myself.
Bono. He just looks he hasn't aged well.
Different, yeah.
Yeah,
They flipped it upside down.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
but
Bono, but upside down.
like, they've been in bed with Apple
Yeah,
for
they,
a while.
They've had a long-term like business, corporate relationship thing going.
yeah,
Where,
we
like,
talked about it. They had that like special edition. Was it a phone or an iPod?
iPod.
The
iTouch?
iPod Red.
iPod, yeah.
The
No,
red
no, it
one.
wasn't the red. It was a specific U2 one that like you
No,
bought
no,
it.
yeah,
Had all
it
their
was
shit.
red though.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was red, Dave.
I know that.
Red Rocket.
Yum.
Gross. That's gross, man. Yeah, yeah. I don't want to listen to you too.
Wait, but you did, and nobody else here did.
Yeah, and I listened to
I
like
think I'm
the,
going to
like,
check a little bit of it out.
the worst example of it. Like, yeah, no.
I don't think I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I'm
I don't-
gonna,
I
I'm gonna
don't
be,
think
I'm gonna continue not intentionally listening to you two.
And I don't really advocate for any artist to do this. What I do advocate for is you to reinterpret your songs for a live show.
Yeah.
Like when Jack White he did We're Gonna Be Friends and like this like kind of like yeehaw country
Yeah.
vibe. It was like I didn't love it, but it was interesting.
It's fun that he's doing something different. Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew he wasn't gonna go up there and just play that song straight. And I thought that was cool.
Sturgill Simpson re-recorded a bunch of his like hits with like a killing fucking bluegrass band, and that was really cool because it's just cool to hear them in a different light.
Yeah, I do think
Maybe the takeaway is don't do this as a 3-hour album.
Yeah, that's also probably a really big takeaway. Big
'Cause I feel like
bands,
if
I
this
know
was
you're
like-
watching this.
Yeah,
Listen
you know.
up.
it feels like
Listen, Bono.
I guarantee you bands do this kind of stuff all the time. And we just don't know about it because
Yeah.
it's slowly being trickled out as like iTunes bonus, Best Buy bonus,
Or
Japanese
bonus.
release.
Someone tells them no.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anybody in U2's orbit to tell them, like, don't do this.
Well, Zanlo tried.
Yeah,
No, he didn't try. He was like, this is so great.
He's too positive to tell
Yeah.
them no.
that sucks.
So my pants are really loose. Yeah. So what we're listening to?
Aside from you two, what are you listening to?
Yeah. Man, we're-
I've been listening to Logic's new record. My brother
didn't he
suggested it.
retire for a bit?
I mean, every hip hop artist that gets big enough retires. It's called College Park. It's pretty good. He's insane. Rappers like him, and we've talked about Kendrick on the show, and like just the rappers that actually focus on rapping,
Yeah.
and being really good at stringing words together, like Eminem, Busta Rhymes,
Like as opposed to like a chorus?
yeah, or just more singing or more triplety stuff, stuff that attaches to the lineage of rapping and carries it further in terms of like skill.
Yeah.
It fucking blows my mind, and it's an interesting listen because it's like he's reminiscing on like 2011 when he was in that place that the record's about, and the comparison between him then and him now, and he talks about mental health and stuff a lot.
So
Pretty cool.
it feels like what you're talking about. These rappers are kind of like when people in the 80s were super obsessed with these guitarists, like Joe Satriani, just like clearly focused on his guitar.
Yeah.
That kind of thing where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm going to be the best at this.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
but it's still it doesn't seem flashy.
Yeah.
It just seems like
Right,
he's-
like you said, pushing it forward's a good,
Yeah.
a good way to phrase it.
Yeah.
that's basically it.
Nice.
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 Next.
No, it's nice.
Oh,
He was doing an Irish accent.
It's really good.
yeah, it was great, right?
He's been there 3 times. No, twice. He's going for a 3rd time.
It's all you want to say, right? So I've been listening to a band called Haken. I know it sounds like my name, but it's Haken.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It's not me. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Pretty fucking funny.
I didn't do any of this. Stop. Open
Doing
your eyes.
Trailer Park Boys, the Bubbles. Is that his name?
Yeah.
You should know this.
I do know it.
Good one.
So they're like a prog band. They released a new album. It's called Fauna. I think it's great if you like prog rock, but if you don't like prog rock, you're not gonna like it at all. I put it on in the car, and my wife was like, "What is this?" And then
It's trash.
yeah. Mostly though, what I've been listening to is that on Friday I went to a show. I didn't play a show. I went to a show, and I went and saw Webbed Wing, Anxious,
Webbed
Wang, Anxious, Drug Church, and Prince Daddy and the Hyena. And Prince Daddy and the Hyena, I listened to their recorded stuff. I thought it was great. I really love their album they put out last year. But man, live, I wasn't feeling it as much. But they were also placed in a weird spot. So it was a co-headliner with Prince Daddy and the Hyena. Drug Church was playing before them that night, and they fucking crushed it. It was so fucking good. Oh my God.
So it was like
blown
they
away.
couldn't follow up with after.
It was just a weird spot for them.
Did you guys know that happened to the Pixies? They were on tour whenever their most famous album came out and they were opening up for another band, and they got so big that the headliner said, "You know what? You're the headliner."
Wow.
And that band was basically like, "Look, we were so happy we did it. Like, do you want to follow the Pixies every night?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah,
Well-
it seems pretty easy. I've seen live videos of them. They're pretty boring."
and they swap, so they were swapping every night, and so like I don't know if it would have really made a difference because so like Anxious, the 2 openers are Webbed Wang and Anxious, and Anxious really they brought a lot of energy, and they were super fucking annoying. They like kept doing the thing that was like, everybody come to the front, everybody better move. Hey, I don't want to see you standing still. Don't even nod your head, man. Come to the front.
This sounds like Justin Roiland doing
Oh,
a Fred
yeah.
Durst. A Fred Durst. Like, all right, you ever have one of those days?
That kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
You kind of sound like Bill Burr there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You can see me on next week episode of The Mandalorian.
they were pretty like I don't know. It wasn't great. The music was fine. They were young, so it was just like Webbed Wing was first. Webbed Wang was first.
I didn't know they were a trio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that
Also
when he told us. I remember that being like one of his like PowerPoint like bullets.
and the drummer was also a sub for the whole tour, and it was also his birthday on the day we saw him.
Happy
Wow.
birthday.
Happy birthday! Yeah. So anyway,
Cool.
so they played, and it was great. Anxious came out. We went straight to the back. We were like, we're not moving up to the front, even though you're telling us we're gonna go to the back.
Yep, I
And
would have
then-
done the same thing.
And they just kept yelling at us. And then Drug Church came out, and he did the same thing where he told people to come to the front, but he was like a great frontman about it. Did it in all the right ways to make people go to the front, and like also like commanded the crowd. The energy was spot on. The funniest part was at the like after their like second song, the drummer was like pulls the vocalist over and says something to him, and the vocalist goes, "Kill the strobes," and they go straight into the next song. But my favorite thing about Webbed Wang was the frontman was really good at the whole like kind of like sad guy, depressed like front person thing. But he kept saying before every single song, "Hey, check this out."
What do you think about this?
and then he did the thing where like he's tuning, he's talking, and he goes, "Oh, holy shit. These next 3 songs are really good. Hey, check this out." And then they start playing the song. It was perfect. It was
pretty
so
funny.
good.
I hate that.
like he didn't know what the set list was until just then.
Yeah, it's like it's as if he forgot what
a
the
bit.
next. Yeah, it's so good. I love
to do that bit so many times though,
Yeah, true.
and then the rest
maybe
of the time you're
once.
just like once
I-
or twice per show, and
No.
If
no.
Jackson started doing "Hey, check this out," I'd love it.
I would fucking hate
It's
that.
one of those things where like it'd be funny the first 2 times, and then it's gonna get annoying, and then around like the 8th time, you're like, okay, this is actually funny now.
Yeah.
The fact that you've committed this
Like
much,
going past
I'm gonna
being
go
annoying.
home and talk about this.
Yeah.
Or
But
talk
yeah.
about it on your podcast.
True. But yeah, mainly my the biggest thing I listened to from that show afterwards was Drug Church. Their album Hygiene is really, really good.
Hi, Hagen. You said hi to Gene. I was saying hi to you.
That sucked.
Hi, Hagen.
Who's next?
Adam is.
I'll go next. M83 came out with a new album that is very much like their older stuff, which I'm more of a fan of. So I'm glad that they've figured out how to make good music again, because
Yeah, got him.
their last few
Holy
albums
shit!
weren't for me. I'll put it that way. But
Nice.
I don't know. It's not that exciting of a week for music for me. That's the only thing I got.
You should have listened to the 100 Gex album.
I should listen to you too.
Yeah, you should be always listening to me. Yeah.
Boo.
So 100 Gex released.
Pun over here.
Yeah. 100 Gex.
check this out.
Jack pun.
Hey, check this out. 100 Gex released their second album, 10,000 Gex. Just like the first album, it is like 25 minutes, so it's a real breeze. There's a song called $1 Million that I played around my cat, and she looked like she was having a panic attack. And I was like, that's a ringing endorsement for this album. It's just like, it's going $1 million. $1 million for like 3 minutes. It's fucking hilarious. And they have a song called Doritos and Fritos, which is just like, it's a meme. And then there's this chorus where I was like, oh shit, that's like so catchy. It's a great album. I love it. I'm looking forward to the pit. It's gonna be a good time.
Fuck yeah.
Those two are memers to the extent.
I can tell.
Chat
what
Pile
it sounds like.
was posting because they 100 Gex was on the most recent issue of, they're on the most recent cover of Kerrang magazine, and the singer Laura Les is wearing a Chat Pile t-shirt, and they're like, them in their camp were like posting it like, oh fuck yeah, we're on it. And I was like, yeah, 100 Gex was at your show in like Colorado.
Yeah.
Like don't act surprised here. But yeah, it's a great album. I'm fucking, it's so fun.
Yeah.
Go see them on tour. It's gonna be fun. There's gonna be mosh pits. I guarantee it's just gonna be a big crowd of memes.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Yeah, there's a song about a frog being on a floor. That one I'm not so into. That one leans a bit. That one bit.
Does it make you nervous?
No, it leans a bit too much into the like, oh, this is funny, and I'm like, okay, it's funny until like you pull the curtain back and you're like, look at this, it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, anybody got anything else?
Yeah,
Nope.
I'm playing a show on Friday.
Promote. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah, Moniker's playing a show
That sucked.
this Friday, March 24th, in Oklahoma City at the 51st Street Speak Easy. We will be sharing the stage with Spin Cycle. It's their first show, so that's going to be exciting. They have made like 5 posters for the show, even though I had already made a poster.
They're really excited.
It's pretty funny. I like it. So good on them. Come see their first show. I think there's going to be a lot of people there for them, which is I'm really happy for them. And then also we'll be sharing the stage with Foxboroughs. So come hang out with us. It'll be a good time. I think it's like a $5 cover, so
Yeah.
dirt cheap. Come hang out.
If you know anyone in Oklahoma City, tell them to come to the show. 51st Street Speakeasy is an awesome fucking venue. If you haven't been there before, it's a great place. So, yeah, come through Oklahoma City or tell your Oklahoma City friends to come to the show.
Yeah, come talk to me about my custom guitar and ask what pedals I use. You know, all the hits.
What was the thing? Oh, tell them that we sound like Modest Mouse.
Check this
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
Go up to Jackson. If you're in Oklahoma City and you come to the show, make sure to tell Jackson that we sound like Modest Mouse. You will not be disappointed.
Yes.
Or you will.
Maybe.
Yeah, we.
Yeah, I've
promise
never done
anything.
it before, so I don't know.
Take us out of here.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for
Wait,
listening.
Adam might have something to plug.
Do I?
I don't know. Do you?
No, I don't.
Do you?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Maybe I'm supposed to, but
What? Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe, whatever podcast app you are using. If you're watching the YouTube video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. yeah, what Jackson's pointing at. Thumbs up. Make sure to give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we did hit 30 subscribers. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, 30 years old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
We're on the road to 50.
On the road to 50. That's right. So anyway, please, please like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on here. And if you're on social media, please follow Instagram, DFTA Podcast, TikTok, Don't Feed the Artists. If you want to email us any artists that you think about that would be cool if they re-release their shit, email us at rerecording@don'tfeedtheartist.com.
If any of you say moniker, I'll fucking freak out.
He won't give you a blowjob.
Say moniker.
If we hit 50 subscribers by next week's episode, Adam will count to 50 in an Irish accent.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
How many accounts are you going to go register now?
Nope. It's too much work.
So please follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, leave a comment on YouTube, send us an email, just say hi. We want to hear from you guys. And I think that's everything. We're playing a show. It's going to be pretty cool. Where's the thing? There's the thing.
Fuck off! Get rid of town!
Do you know it by color?
I know by page.
Is there a number over there that I can't see?
There's I know what page it is. It says the page when I flip the page, right?
Hagen's scrolling through his
I can see the number.
drum beat pad over there, and like it's changing colors.
Yeah, I thought it was a color thing, but
Apartment?
I faulted.
Bye.
Apartment?